Hi guys, Martin88 here and welcome back to another FIFA 22 video and welcome to a little mini series that we're going to be having here on the channel over the next few days. So for me, really, it's the end of FIFA now. So I'm just going to wrap a few things up and then we're looking well and truly ahead to FIFA 23. And what we're going to be looking at is the best players in the game. As simple as that. Obviously, the last few weeks is what I call the silly season. So there's been loads of real high-end players coming out. So we're going to go through defence, midfield and attack. And today we're starting off with defenders. And we're also going to chuck a couple of goalies in there as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. One disclaimer before we do. This is just my opinion. This is just a bit of fun. I want you guys to say, do you know what? You didn't put such and such in there. I've been using him and he's unreal. That's what I want. I don't want someone slating me because I haven't put somebody in. That's not what this is about. It's good vibes only. Okay, so goalkeepers. The first one that we are going to put in is going to be team of the season, Alisson. There we go. For me, it's the best goalie, but it's personal preference, obviously. We're going to have 4 goalies here. I love Alisson. 1, because of the links, and 2, because of how fast he is, to be quite honest with you. So Alisson is the first one in. This is in no particular order whatsoever, okay? So the next one is going to be Team of the Year, Donnarumma. So up until Alisson came in, that was the goalie that I would recommend to people. That's the goalie that I would use. And to be quite honest with you, it was phenomenal. God, when he first came out as well, he's just a beast. And have a quick look at Donnarumma. 6'5" as well. In terms of his stature, crosses, etc., etc. Yeah, he's just a beast. But then when Alisson come out, I actually used the goalie quite a lot with bringing him out. So it just made sense for me to use him. But if you're using Donnarumma and you like him, he's going to be great as well. So yeah, 2 really good goalkeepers there. 2 more to go. So these won't be a particular surprise to you. The next one that we are looking at is Thiago Courtois. When I'm judging this as well, I'm looking at a whole package, even links, to be honest with you. And yeah, Courtois is very similar type of version to Donnarumma. Big keeper. And just immense. Belgium, Spanish league, does the job. For me, it's probably better than Donnarumma. I mean, his stats would... Maybe they wouldn't suggest that because Donnarumma's diving and reflexes are better, but both big, good goalies. And then the last one is actually an icon. And that's the shame. As the game gets on, the icons become less and less important. But I still think I'd include this guy in the top 4 goalkeepers on the game. I always say to people that I coach that I feel like there's certain, maybe the top end of icons have what we call like the BS factor. They just have that extra something hidden behind the card. Some of them, yeah? Not all of them, some of them. And yeah, I think Van der Sar fits into that mould as well. And there's no coincidence there that you've got Donnarumma, Courtois and Van der Sar all massive keepers. Obviously, Alisson is a little bit shorter at 6'3", but still very good. Okay, that's the goalkeepers. Let's move on to the defenders. So, defender-wise, I've got 10. So this is going to be so difficult. I've got 4 fullbacks and 6 centre-halves. So you can imagine that this was difficult. And that's why I said, if you've used somebody and you want to let us know how good they are, etc., etc., then you get in them comments and you let us know. Okay, so it was very difficult to do, but you know, I did pick 4 out in the end. Now, the first one, I think personally, is the best fullback in the game. Certainly the best one I've used. Absolutely love him. Versatility as well. And that's João Cancelo. Team of the season version is just minutely better than the team of the year version. So yeah, it's worth putting in. He's 6 foot, so he's got the height. His work rate's not that I ever paid that much attention to it, but I still think that's good to have a high work rate. 5-star weak foot. And he's got 4-star skill moves. And his stats are just absolutely unreal. Like, let's talk about the whole package. He has the whole package. Premier League, Portuguese. 5-star weak foot. He could literally play both fullback positions easily. Stats are immense. both attacking wise and defensively. And he's got the height, literally everything. In terms of a whole package, has everything. Best fullback in the game for me. Okay, but he's actually down as a left back. Okay, so let's go into the other left back that I selected. And that is, this was difficult for me to select the next one because I looked at, there was a Marvi that I looked at, also Lodi, but I went for Theo Hernandez in the end. This, of course, is across both online and offline play, just the best players that I think. And Hernandez, again, is just that little bit bigger. I don't really like fullbacks that are like 5'8" because they can just get bullied, particularly if there's anything in the air. It's not going to be a good look. So yeah, Hernandez, 4-star, high work rate, 6 foot tall, and stats wise again is very, very good. We want the best of both worlds. There's some fullbacks out there, not that shooting's everything, but at the end of the game is you want them to do everything, and their attacking stats let them down a bit, but Hernandez doesn't. And he also is just one of them. Seems like, I don't know, when a card has 99 pace as like their base stats, they seem to just be quicker, and he's definitely falls into that bracket, absolutely no doubt. So that's the two left backs. All right, into the right backs. Okay, so my first one, and this would be my first choice right back, and I think this is a little bit of a hidden gem, to be honest, and it is shapeshifter Thiago Mendes. Right, I absolutely love this guy. I used to have Hakimi, and I swapped him for Mendes, and I was instantly just felt that he was so much better. And do you know what it was? It was his passing that was much superior. And also, at 5'10", he's just big enough to physically hold his own. And he was also very, very agile. So in terms of like the jockeying, if you've got like the Neymars in the game now, obviously high-end Mbappe cards, all them type of people, this guy can deal with it. And for me, he is the #1 right back. That's probably going to cause some controversy, but for me, he is. Then the next right back, I could have put a few in here, right? So I looked at Cuadrado, I looked at Reece James, Tavernier, someone that I like a lot, but like I said, the whole package, look at like links in terms of him. If we're talking about FIFA 22, obviously I know FIFA 23 there aren't any links, but the best defenders in this game, I'm just not so sure. So I ended up just going back to tried and tested Hakimi. He will do a good job for you. And also, it's a little bit of nostalgia there for me. Like, he's been out since January. I personally played a lot of games with him. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that did. One thing with him was the passing, but again, with the pace that he had, and he actually had a beast of a shot in him as well. At the point of having Cancelo and Hakimi at fullback in like February, March, April, it was just an absolute joy. So I'm going to say it's very, very, very marginal. And I'd probably concede that potentially there are better right backs out there than him, but we're splitting hairs, to be quite honest. So I went for Hakimi. So there we go. There's the fullbacks. 4 fullbacks. I know there's loads out there. Tell us who you use. Cancelo, Hernandez, Mendes, and Hakimi. Into the centre backs. Okay, into the centre halves. So, first one on the list. This is in no particular order, okay? And it is going to be Varane, okay? Now, I have to be completely truthful with you guys that Varane is not a player that I enjoy using on FIFA whatsoever. But when you see a 99 rated centre-back, it's hard to disagree that he is going to be very good. It's normally the balance that I just can't get over. But with this version of Varane, his defending and physicals are so high, you don't even need to touch the defensive stats. So you can just whack an engine on this guy, and he's going to have maxed out pace. That balance will go up by 10 to 70. He'll have 85 agility. And that's decent. Coupled with all the other stats, makes him an absolute beast, to be quite honest with you. And again, of course, for 6'3", that's a very good height. It's a difficult one. There's actually some centre halves out there that are like 6 foot or below, and you have to really question whether they are good enough to warrant putting in at that height, because they're going to get bullied in the air. So yeah, first one, Varane. Next one for me is somebody that I've enjoyed using this year thoroughly, and if not the best on the game, certainly one of the best. And that is team of the season, Marquinhos. Now, he is 6 foot, but what I love about Marquinhos is his jumping, and he doesn't seem to get beaten in the air, to be honest. And his passing, speed, his dribbling stats, defending, physicality, plus Liga, Brazilian, everything you could want. Absolutely brilliant. The next one, it might cause a little bit of controversy, but again, it's maybe a little bit more nostalgia. But I still believe that he's one of the best in the game, and that is Team of the Year, Reuben Diaz, not Team of the Season. I think there's a massive difference between the two of them. Now, Diaz, out of the centre-backs that I've put in, is definitely the most clunky, but for me, he's a brute. He really is. And you can get that pace up nicely, but I've actually used an engine on him all year to improve the agility and the balance. Really love that he has the 99 reactions, 96 composure. I think that's massive. And his passing is also extremely good, which I think is key. You could just have a really fast, nimble centre-half and they get the ball and they can't play with it. But Diaz can, and he's a muscle man. He's an absolute brute. Really like him. Hope you guys agree. I'm sure that you would have used him at some point in the game. Okay, 3 left. They're going to be a little bit more recent, these ones now. And the first one is going to be Eder Militao, okay? Now, for me, you could look at him and think Marquinhos or Militao, to be quite honest with you. They're both very, very, very similar. Literally everything that I said about Marquinhos works for Militao. It's just different league, basically. Same rating, very, very, very similar stats. So, yeah, there we go. Next one on the list is one that was one of the last ones that I put in, to be honest. And that was Cole Walker. Now, I think some people would be absolutely loving having Cole Walker at centre-back. I have this thing about, like, I know that they get shifted, like shapeshifters or whatever. I just can't get over the fact that he's a right back, to be honest. And I don't know. I have Marquinhos as a 6 foot centre back, but for me, he's a lot better than Walker. And personally, I couldn't quite get over being 6 foot is a problem for me. But his other stats are very good, and I can see why a lot of you would like using him. So for me, I had to put him in the top centre-backs, although he probably wouldn't be my cup of tea, if I'm being completely honest with you. So that takes us into the last one that has just come out, and that is going to be Anthony Rudiger, okay, who's just transferred from Chelsea to Real Madrid. He's got a 97 rated card, and it's very, very, very good, which you'd expect for this time of year. I have to be honest, a little bit extra agility and balance wouldn't go amiss, considering that we're a couple of weeks away from the game ending, but he still deserves to be in there as one of the best defenders on the game. There are obviously other centre-halves out there, but yeah, I just didn't feel that they were going to make my top 6, but I would love to hear about other centre-halves that you've used that you're like, man, they should just be in there. Really want you to get into the comments and let me know. But guys, that is going to be it for today. Please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're actually on the road to 5,000 subscribers now, which is just amazing. Buzzing about that. And we're going to see you guys tomorrow for the best midfielders in FIFA 22. That is starting to hot up. Anyway, I'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.